Did you know that in a world where global e-commerce giants like Amazon and Alibaba dominate, there's a place where trade still thrives on the ancient principles of haggling, trust, and the human touch? A place where the scent of frankincense isn't just a perfume, but a currency. This isn't just a market, it's a living museum. It's the souk, the beating heart of Omani culture and commerce. And today, we're not just going to visit them, we're going to get lost in them. From the ancient frankincense routes to the bustling port cities, we'll uncover the secrets of Oman's legendary souks. Today, we're diving deep into these living time capsules, where history, aroma, and artistry collide. Nizwa Souq. Welcome to Nizwa Souq, the beating heart of Omani culture, and the crown jewel of the Arabian Peninsula's trading history. This isn't just a market, it's a living, breathing time machine. I'm about to take you on a journey through narrow alleyways where the scent of rose water mingles with aged leather, where master craftsmen forge silver with techniques passed down through generations, and where every corner tells a story that stretches back centuries. Let me paint you a picture. It's the 17th century, and Nizwa isn't just another desert town, it's the capital of Oman, the crossroads where Arabian merchants, Indian traders, and African explorers converge. The Nizwa Souq we see today was built around the iconic Nizwa fort in the 1650s, strategically positioned at the base of the Hajar Mountains. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing: this location was chosen because it sits on ancient trade routes that connected the frankincense trails of Dofa with the ports of Muscat. Every stone in these walls has witnessed history unfold. Imagine caravans loaded with frankincense, myrrh, and precious spices arriving after months of desert travel. The air would have been thick with anticipation as merchants haggled in Arabic, Persian, Swahili, and Hindi. But what makes Nizwa Souq truly special isn't just its age, it's that it has never stopped being what it was meant to be: the authentic heart of Omani commerce and culture. Now, prepare yourself for sensory overload as we enter the famous Silver Souq, and trust me, nothing prepares you for this moment. The moment you step inside, you're hit by the rhythmic symphony of dozens of silversmiths hammering away at their craft. These aren't just artisans, they're living links to a tradition that spans over 500 years. Watch this master craftsman create a traditional Omani khanjar, the curved dagger that's not just a weapon, but a symbol of Omani identity and honor. Each piece takes weeks to complete, with techniques passed down from father to son for generations. What's incredible is that every piece tells a story. These aren't mass-produced souvenirs, they are heirlooms in the making. From traditional Omani bracelets called asawar to elaborate ceremonial daggers, each item represents hundreds of hours of meticulous handwork. And here's a secret most tourists miss: if you look closely at the engravings, you'll find ancient Arabic calligraphy, tribal symbols, and geometric patterns that date back to pre-Islamic times. This is living archaeology you can actually purchase. But the silver is just the beginning. Follow me deeper into the souk, where the very air tells stories of ancient trade routes. This is where Oman's legendary spice trade comes alive. Look at these mountains of saffron from Kashmir, cardamom from India, and cinnamon from Sri Lanka. But the real treasure, Omani frankincense, once literally worth its weight in gold. This isn't just any frankincense, this is Boswellia sacra, known as silver frankincense, and it only grows in southern Oman. For over 3,000 years, this precious resin has been harvested from the same trees and traded along the same routes we're walking today. The vendors here aren't just sellers, they're walking encyclopedias of flavor. Watch as they blend custom spice mixtures that have been perfected over centuries. That's Baharat, the blend of 7 spices that forms the backbone of Omani cuisine. And you absolutely must try the traditional Omani coffee kahwa, served with dates and rose water. It's not just a drink, it's a 500-year-old hospitality ritual that welcomes every visitor as family. What makes Nizwa Souq extraordinary isn't just what you can buy, it's what you experience. This isn't a tourist attraction, it's where real Omani families have shopped for generations. Every Friday, the souk transforms into something even more special: the traditional goat and cattle market. Bedouins travel from across the region, just as their ancestors did centuries ago, to trade livestock using methods that haven't changed since medieval times. The bargaining here is an art form, a dance of respect, tradition, and genuine human connection. It's not about getting the lowest price. It's about honoring relationships that span generations. Watch how the elderly vendor remembers exactly how a customer likes their frankincense ground, or how children run freely through the alleyways while their parents conduct business. This is community commerce at its most authentic. As the sun sets over Nizwa, casting golden shadows through these ancient corridors, you realize you haven't just visited a market, you've traveled through time itself. Nizwa Souq proves that in our digital age, there's still magic in authentic human experiences. This is where traditions aren't just preserved, they are lived, breathed, and passed on with pride. Muttrah Souq. Walking into Muttrah Souq is like stepping through a portal into Arabian Nights. This labyrinthine marketplace stretches for over a kilometer along the Corniche, housed under a traditional wooden roof that's been protecting traders from the desert sun since the early 1800s. The architecture itself is a masterpiece. Notice these intricately carved wooden beams and the way natural light filters through, creating this mystical atmosphere that photographers dream about. What makes this place truly special is that it's not a reconstructed tourist attraction. This is the real deal. The same families who started trading here in the 19th century are still running their shops today, passing down not just their businesses, but centuries of trading wisdom. And here's where Oman's history comes alive, the frankincense section. Oman produces some of the world's finest frankincense, and this souk is where it all began. This isn't just any incense, this is hojari, the Rolls-Royce of frankincense, harvested from the boswellia trees in Dofa province. Marco Polo himself wrote about Omani frankincense, calling it the best in the world. But frankincense isn't the only treasure here. Welcome to what locals call the Silver City, an entire section dedicated to traditional Omani silver jewelry that will make your Instagram followers incredibly jealous. This isn't mass-produced tourist jewelry. These pieces are handcrafted using techniques passed down through generations. This traditional Omani khanjar bracelet I'm wearing, it's made using the same methods Omani silversmiths used 300 years ago. And the best part, the prices here are still incredibly reasonable compared to what you'd pay for similar craftsmanship anywhere else in the world. The aroma that's been following us, that's the spice section calling. Muttrah Souq sits at the crossroads of ancient trade routes, and nowhere is this more evident than in these spice stalls that look like an artist's palette exploded. Saffron from Kashmir, cardamom from India, cinnamon from Sri Lanka, and these local Omani spices like lumi dried lime that you simply cannot find anywhere else. The vendor just told me that some of these spice families have been importing from the same suppliers for over 100 years. That's what I call a reliable supply chain. And then there's the textile section, a riot of colors that would make a peacock jealous. These traditional Omani dastashes, the flowing robes worn by local men, are still tailored here using patterns that date back centuries. But what's fascinating is how this traditional craft has evolved. Look at this contemporary interpretation of traditional Omani embroidery. It's being done by the same family that's been tailoring in this exact spot for 4 generations. But they're adapting their designs for modern tastes, while keeping the authentic techniques alive. Now, for the treasure hunters among you, let me show you the antique section. This is where serious collectors come to hunt for authentic Arabian artifacts. Vintage Omani daggers, ancient coffee pots, traditional navigation instruments used by Arab sailors. The shop owner just showed me this 150-year-old traditional coffee pot still in working condition. Imagine the stories this piece could tell, the trading ships it traveled on, the merchants who used it to seal deals worth fortunes. But here's the thing about Muttrah Souq: shopping here isn't just about buying, it's about the experience. Haggling isn't just expected, it's an art form, and these shopkeepers are masters. The secret: start at about 40% of the asking price, be patient, walk away at least once, and always share a cup of Omani tea during the process. It's not just about getting a good deal, it's about the human connection that makes travel memorable. As the sun sets over Muscat and the call to prayer echoes through the souq's ancient corridors, you realize that Muttrah Souq isn't just a place to shop, it's a living museum, a cultural experience, and a bridge between Oman's glorious past and its dynamic future. Every purchase here comes with a story. Every interaction is a cultural exchange. and every visit leaves you with memories that no amount of online shopping can replicate. This is authentic Arabia at its finest, unchanged, unfiltered, and absolutely unforgettable. Muttrah Souq. I'm here in the Al Sharqiya region of Oman, about to take you inside one of the Arabian Peninsula's most genuine marketplaces. Muttrah Souq isn't just a market, it's a living, breathing testament to Oman's incredible trading heritage. This isn't your typical tourist destination. This is where real Omani life happens, where traditions spanning 4 centuries come alive every single Thursday. Muttrah's story begins in the early 1600s, when this strategic location became a crucial stop along the ancient frankincense routes. Picture this: caravans loaded with precious incense, dates, and textiles, converging on this very spot every week. The town's name, Muttrah, literally means radiance in Arabic, and you'll understand why the moment you experience the market's electric energy. What makes Muttrah truly special is that it's remained virtually unchanged. While other markets have modernized or disappeared entirely, Muttrah has preserved its authentic soul. Okay, so here's what hits you first. The sensory overload is absolutely incredible. Look at these spice mountains: saffron, cardamom, turmeric, and frankincense, the same frankincense that was once worth its weight in gold. This is the finest frankincense from Dofa region, and the bargaining here, it's an art form. Prices are never fixed, it's all about the relationship, the conversation, the dance of negotiation. Traditional crafts section, livestock area, goats, chickens, dates and honey stalls, traditional clothing and textiles. What I love most is how this market serves the local community. This isn't a show for tourists. This is real life. Here are 3 things that make Muttrah Souq absolutely unique. First, it only happens once a week, every Thursday. This isn't a daily tourist trap. It's a weekly celebration of commerce that the entire region depends on. Second, cash registers, credit cards. Forget about it. This is pure, old-school bartering. Relationships matter more than money. And third, you'll probably be the only tourist here. While Muscat's Muttrah Souq gets thousands of visitors daily, Muttrah remains beautifully undiscovered. These dates, they're like nature's candy. And the price, a fraction of what you'd pay in the city. Alright, so you're sold. How do you get here? Muttrah is about 2.5 hours drive from Muscat, perfectly positioned for a day trip. The market starts early around 6 a.m. and winds down by noon. Pro tip: come with small bills and an empty stomach. The traditional Omani breakfast here is phenomenal. Standing here in Muttrah Souq, you realize you're not just shopping, you're participating in a tradition that connects you directly to Oman's incredible heritage. This is travel at its most authentic. Souq Al Hafa. Welcome to Souq Al Hafa in Salalah, Oman, a market so authentic that Hollywood location scouts have tried to recreate it and failed miserably. Souq Al Hafa isn't just any market, it's literally translated as the edge market, because it sits on the edge of the Arabian Peninsula, where 3 continents meet. For over 800 years, this has been the trading hub where African gold, Indian spices, and Persian silks changed hands. But here's what makes this place absolutely incredible. Unlike Dubai's gold souks or Istanbul's Grand Bazaar that have become tourist attractions, Souq Al Hafa is still a working market. The same families have been running stores here for generations, and they're not putting on a show. This is their livelihood. Now, this is where things get insane. You know frankincense from Christmas stories, right? Well, Oman produces 80% of the world's frankincense, and it grows only in this region. We're talking about a substance that was literally worth more than gold in ancient Rome. There are 23 different grades of frankincense, and unless you know what you're looking for, you might end up with garden variety, when you could have gotten royal quality for just a few dollars more. Follow me into what I call the bling district. But this isn't your typical tourist jewelry. These are hand-forged Omani khanjars, ceremonial daggers that every Omani man traditionally wears. Some of these pieces are 200+ years old, passed down through families. Look at this craftsmanship. This handle is made from genuine rhino horn. This silver work took months to complete. And the sheath, this is real camel leather that's been treated with techniques passed down for centuries. Watch this, the vendor started at 500 rials. That's about $1,300. But in Omani culture, if you don't bargain, you're actually insulting the vendor. It's not about the money, it's about the relationship, the respect, the dance of commerce that's been happening here for centuries. This section right here, it's like walking through a rainbow that smells incredible. We've got saffron from Kashmir, and I mean real saffron, not the fake stuff you get in most places. We've got cardamom pods the size of your thumb, cinnamon bark so fresh it's still oily. And these textiles, this isn't machine-made stuff. These are hand-woven fabrics, using techniques that predate the Silk Road. This indigo blue, it comes from a plant that only grows in specific regions of Iran, and the dye process takes 3 months. But here's what most travel guides don't tell you: some of the best food in Oman isn't in fancy restaurants, it's right here in the market. This is shua lamb that's been slow cooked underground for 24 hours, with a spice blend that's a family secret. Oh my, that's not just food, that's history on a plate. The spice blend includes frankincense, which gives it this incredible aromatic quality you literally cannot get anywhere else in the world. And if you know where to look, which most tourists don't, there are workshops hidden behind these stalls where master craftsmen are still making things by hand. This man has been making traditional Omani silver jewelry for 40 years, using the same tools his grandfather used. Every piece is unique. Every design tells a story from Omani culture. And you're not just buying a souvenir, you're buying a piece of living history. As the sun sets over Souq al-Hafa, you realize this isn't just a market, it's a time machine. It's proof that in our hyper-connected, mass-produced world, places like this still exist where authenticity isn't a marketing term, it's a way of life. I've been to markets all over the world, but there's something magical about Souq al-Hafa. Maybe it's the frankincense in the air, maybe it's the stories embedded in every store, or maybe it's just the fact that this place has remained unchanged while the world transformed around it.